Alright, thought I'd give you a little quick handheld walkthrough showing the status of the reloading room at this point in time. A few changes have been made. It's still a work in progress, still a lot of things going to be changed, but thought I'd give you an update as we go along. Straight across as we walk into the reloading room, there's bullets have made it back onto the wall. This is a good portion of the jacketed bullets that I've got. So they're there, the normal mess. I'll try and have it cleaned up by the end of the day just so it looks a little more presentable. This has been kind of a dumping point right here on this end of the bench. So we come all the way back around. On the end of this bench is cleaning rods. I don't know how well that shows. I've got, 6 or 8 Dewey cleaning rods sitting there, hanging there. I guess there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I guess there's 6 of them hung up there. I got a few more that go in my hard cases when I go to the range. But anyway, that's the stuff I normally have had in the shop, had out front. Bullets. We've got our normal little stool. Everybody's got to have a badged stool of some sort. This was in another shop, and it was gifted to me by the guy that got it from that shop. Anyway, there's those tubs down underneath. Those are all full of brass. And we've got storage back underneath. And then if we go all the way back down here, this is all brass back in this corner, with the exception of that press. And that's one of my benches in progress. Underneath those 2 tubs, there's more brass. Another little press there, that's my son's. That goes to him. So a little RCBS Junior, and there's a T-Mag sitting down there. All the rest in that corner is all brass. So I'm going to change it over. We'll get 6 more of those yellow tubs. Will fit quite nicely down there, so we'll do that. We go along the bottom on this side. We've got bullets tucked down in the bottom. Now I do have my storage trays for storage drawers for all the accessories this is all reloading stuff pretty much. I think I've still got, there's 4 of those racks there with 5 trays in each one. There's 2 more of those racks down there. There's one there, and there's one tucked back in the corner there. An old Midway tumbler. Now I've got about, I think, 3 or 4 more of the interchangeable tubs that go on here. The bottom one's got some motor mica in it that'll tumble lead round balls primarily in it, just to uniform them a little bit. The top one's about the only one that I realistically use anymore, and it's filled with molly. I use it to molly coat bullets. So that's the one that stays on there 90% of the time. I don't know why it got changed out for other stuff. I did get all my lead tucked back in this corner, all the lead shot. This is not all lead, but this is all the lead shot. Doesn't look like it, but in that pile there. And the bags in front, there's 1,000, 1,200 pounds, something like that. And there's a variety. There's a lot of my drop shot that I use at the trap range. There's some older, bigger stuff. There's some buck down there, and then there's some number 4, number 6s, number 2s, stuff like that. That's there. There's that Mold Master pot back there, a few little things tucked away. I haven't done anything with the lubricizers, or pretty much nothing on this wall. Now down here, there's the tumbling drum for my wet tumbler that I built. Those 2, this bottom box and then the box above it, those are my range boxes. The bottom one's got my bench rest in it, sandbags, everything that normally goes with that, and then the range box has got cleaning supplies, some tools, and a few more sandbags. I think my spotting scope's in there, stuff like that. Those are not going to stay in here. I don't have room for them, and I can tuck them out closer to the door for when I do go to the range. Then up above, we haven't really done anything with any of the rest of this stuff. I do have a radio stuck out here now, but that's about it. And that's pretty much that side. When we, if we look at the top of the bench, nothing's changed there. I do have reloading manuals up there. Now that back wall's changing. That's going to be storage, I think, for lubricizers. And I've got I think, a pretty fancy idea that I'm going to do with that. So I'll show that if it works out. Reloading manuals are there. They're probably going to stay in about that location, but they're going to get changed around too. The Dillons are permanently mounted now. The 3 366s are permanently mounted, and I've still got to build risers for underneath them. That's something I haven't done yet, but we'll get risers like underneath this first one. And there's a shell hopper back behind. That's not going to work on this bench. It's too deep. I've got one for holes like that, and then I've got a little bit smaller one for wads, but they're, like I say, neither of them are really going to fit here on this bench. We'll do something different with that. Now this is potentially an interesting little project. This is an old Bear shotgun press. This one's set up for 12 gauge. This is a Polar Bear 600 is what this one is. And if you look at it, they're very similar, early model Hornady 366s. Bear, then Pacific, then Hornady type of thing. Now, as I just think aloud, and the reason I originally picked up this press was I think as a future project, something on that size form would make a really neat press for 410 and 28 gauge. Now, Hornady still does produce a 410 and 28 gauge press when you can get your hands on them. New, they're about $2,000. And there again, this is a project that may or may not develop. I've got several other projects that are going to be completely finished before I even think about this one. But I think that one could be about that size factor, is going to be big enough, and then set up basically like a Hornady 366. I think you can get auto advance, swing out wad guide, and all the dies and everything you need in that same form factor, except instead of having 6 stations, you would have, I believe it's 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, like you would have actually 9 if you use the sizing die on a Hornady 366. So I think there's potential for a fun little project there. We'll see if that develops or not. Anyway, that's pretty much that side of the reloading room in the back. And then reloading bench, or the gunsmithing bench, nothing's really changed here on the bench itself. I have put my file rack up above, which was on the same end of the bench when the bench was out on the other side of this wall. It'll be a good conversation piece because that file card that's hanging right there, I've got a couple of tall guys that are friends of mine that would periodically come through, and they were always banging into that file card with their heads. So that'll be an interesting conversation piece. Otherwise, that's about it. Where this Baird's sitting, why there'll be an aluminum plate on top there that's inletted down into the bench, and then some steel support underneath to support that press, and then that plate will also be drilled for any other things that I want to mount to it. I've got a Lyman T-Mag and an older Spar T there. We'll set it up to mount lubricizers and all that good stuff. My case trimmer and things like that, anything that I've got that mounts either on my mounting plates or just standard, like the risers for the RCBS powder drops, things like that. It'll all be drilled and tapped like that, or drilled clear through the bolt. So anyway, that's pretty much what I got for you today. Just thought you'd like a little bit of an update. So comments, suggestions, leave them in the comment section for me below, guys. And as always, thanks for taking the time to watch.